I'd like to join by Ben Meakin for this one. This is the men's 30, South East Sharks versus the Southern Suns. Ben, lovely to have you with us. First of all, we've not heard from you this weekend, which is rare.
Yes, it is.
How much have you enjoyed the competition so far?
Yeah, it's been really good actually. The standard is going up each year, and watching the 30s, it's been really impressive. And watching the whole tournament, it's really good to watch.
In the 30s category, we've had the South East Sharks who've performed really well in every category. Actually, they've made the final in all of the tournaments they've entered. Both the women's and men's contain South East Sharks teams in their respective finals. The men's 30s is what we're looking at here though, and the South East Sharks have been on such a good run. They are yet to be beaten. They're yet to really be run that close. Their closest game was a 9-5 game, and it was against the Southern Suns. This is a very, very good Sharks team.
Yeah, the Sharks are a really good side. If you look at the team list, a lot of them played at the European Championships this year, and they've got some really good experience all the way across the field. So I expect them to put in a really good performance and probably come out on top. But we'll see what the Suns can do.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy for the Suns, but they have been quite easily the second best team in the competition in the men's 30s. They've put in some really good performances, and the kick-off here is only a few moments away.
There is an official standby.
Away we go then, it's the Suns with the tap off, and away they go. You can't miss them in that luminous Suns kit, which I think it's either a love or a hate job. And I think for everyone here it's now very much a love relationship. You know the Southern Suns are coming, and they might have even got the first touchdown of the game. They have. That's a really, really good finish, and a lightning start for the Southern Suns. This is brilliant.
Yeah, this is just a nice little move. It's called an ML, so middle link. The link chops the hole, and he throws a really good pass into the link hole for the link to chop to score. And that was number 9.
Yeah, Matthew Harper. It's a really, really good finish. He was played for the men's 30s at Euro 2018 this year in Nottingham. And that was an international standard of finish, that.
Yeah, the chop hole was very good, but then they've thrown the ball to the ground already. So the Suns are on top, 1-0 up.
A long, long way to go, of course, but we have seen, as the knockout stages have advanced through, especially today, that favourites and underdogs have really just become merged into one. We've seen it a couple of times in the semi-finals where we thought going into it that it was going to be a pretty straightforward game to call on paper, but goodness me, it's been really, really close, and hopefully we're going to see the same again here.
Yeah, I hope we get to see that. I mean, like you say, the final series, teams can almost, hate to say it, but choke, but hopefully the favourites will put in performance here and see what we can do.
I know you're not here in a playing capacity yet, but what has been your role at this tournament? I know you've been off the pitch doing everything you can.
Yeah, I'm a part of the Midlands group. So we put in the men's open, we put in Midlands Tigers, Midlands Panthers. Midlands Tigers is technically the number 1 side for the Midlands, and I've been helping doing a bit of coaching. We've got a very young side this year, so I'm just doing a bit of coaching with them, and they perform very well.
Yeah, I was going to say, you must be pretty pleased as a general group. I know the women got to the semi-finals. Obviously, the mixed team did phenomenally well. It's been a really positive weekend for the Midlands area.
Yeah, it is. I think the girls have performed very, very well. I think they were very disappointed not to make the final because obviously they're reigning champions from last year. The mixed were bottom of the group and then got into the final, so that was amazing. Oh, and Colin scoops through and throws the ball long, and it's gone out of play, so the Suns ball.
Yeah, I think the women's team will have been disappointed, but it just goes to show that absolutely anything can happen when it comes to drop-off. It was so close, that semi-final.
It was, and that just shows the standard of touch in England at the moment. The Taipans could get on top of the Midlands Tigers, and obviously went to drop off and Taipans won, but yeah, Midlands will come back stronger.
Here come the Suns on the scoop. With Christian Prinsloo. Here he is again. Bends one out now, picked off. Is there space to go? Not quite. Nothing better in the finals to get a full length of the pitch run back, but it wasn't on there for the Sharks.
I've only done it once, and I think I will never do it again. But it's
a long way to go at the end of day 3, isn't it?
70 metres, 3 days in. It's not great.
Now then, Sharks at pace here. And it's good pace as well. This is where openings can form. Good work from Eric Williams there. The ball gets played out. Is he in? It's a really, really good effort from Gareth Weaver.
No, that was really good defensive play. The winger came up, stopped the overlap, and then he got back onside and made the wing touch as well. So really good defensive effort by the Suns winger.
A terrific effort from Gareth Weaver, who's one of the younger players in the men's 30s, just 30.
Just 30
himself. And it's interesting, isn't it, because we see in this category what's amazing about it is just how fit these guys are, well into their 30s, into their 40s. Some of them won't want to reveal their ages, and I'm sure they wouldn't like it themselves, but they're in absolutely unbelievable physical condition.
Yeah, I think when you get to, we'll say the twilight of your career, you have to put in even harder work because your body doesn't recover as easy, and you need to put in more work to make sure you maintain that fitness. So these guys do some really tough fitness sessions to make sure they're ready and prepared for these tournaments.
The Sharks have been dominant through the pool stages, but they're not having it all their own way just yet. This is a bit better though, and a space on the wing, and that should be a touchdown for Stuart Block of the South East Sharks to get them off and running. Nicely done. And this was all in the quick hands from the link hit.
Yeah, so the Sharks just get I think it's just a 3-on-2. No, it's just a man on. No, so it was a 3-on-2, and they just completed with the wing score walking in.
Needed some fast hands, and they got it in the form of Christopher Wall. He did very well to get that ball out there, but the Suns won't be too disheartened. They've probably been the better side in the opening 5 minutes here. Forward they come again. An unfortunate slip there for Christian Prinsloo. Over at half. It's Tom Humphreys. All the way through, that's the 6th touch. Gillett there. And if you're just joining us this afternoon, it's been a really, really heavy day already. We were here at 8 o'clock this morning. It feels strange looking at my watch and seeing not even 2:30. We're already into the finals, but it's been a really, really good day so far. This is our 3rd to last game of the day. We've still got the women's and the men's open finals to come. South East Sharks looking as a region for a clean sweep, which would be an unbelievable achievement considering the breadth of talent here this year of all years.
Yeah, definitely. The Sharks have got some very, very good talented people, and they've got some really strong depth. So a lot of the players that are playing in this 30s team could actually play in that men's opens team because they've played for a long time and know the game. But the depth that the Sharks have got, they've got a lot of youngsters and newbies, so they can put them in and teach them the game a bit more and become really competitive, as you've seen all weekend.
Yeah, they didn't get either of the women's or men's last year, and that's going to be a touchdown here for the Suns.
And that was Paul Smuts on the link quickie. So all he does here, he gets onto the outside of the number 2 quickies, he gets the ball back and just beats him on the outside with a nice little dive, bringing back the years.
Glad you said that.
Well, I used to play with him.
Yeah, I know.
About 2 years ago. This is his first tournament back after 2 years, so he's definitely feeling it. I was talking to him just before the game. He's looking forward to it, but he's sore. So that was a very good score.
It is a point that is worth repeating. At the end of 3 days of really relentless play, just how is the body feeling when you get to this stage of a competition?
Oh, it's tough. Your body's very sore. There's not many other sports that you can replicate the soreness, the intensity over 3 days, 4 days for European Championships. So yeah, your body does get very sore, and it's just trying to take longer warm-ups to make sure your body's in the right condition for the final.
Yeah, because of course, stating the obvious, the most important game comes at the end when you're feeling it the most. It is always so difficult to produce your best in a final, but that's what both of these teams are tasked with here.
Finals are sometimes easy because you're pumped up for it, but it's the first game on the last day. I always find that the hardest, especially at 8 o'clock in the morning when you've not ate all your food and you're trying to get up for the game. That's the hardest, but this one, the boys should be up for it because it's a final, everyone wants to win them.
Yeah, make no mistake, it was the Southern Samurais who won this competition last year, and the year before that, and the year before that as well in the men's 30s. So we'll have a new winner this year, new name on the trophy.
Everyone's gone headless and running some nonsense. Just calm down.
And here comes the pace from deep, little scissors movement. Crossing all over the place. That's a floaty pass and an interception. Now the Suns can come clear. It was a risky ball that from the middle there, Richard Nienabar. Not sure he really needed to play that pass. It's a great burst of speed. Pure adrenaline at this point, surely. Little hot step as well. And that's going to be the 6th touch. You mentioned Paul Smuts is feeling sore. Look at the speed that he's getting out the blocks. It's remarkable.
Yeah, it is actually. The way he was walking around before, but he's obviously had a coffee and he's raring to go. So he's putting a good first 10 minutes performance here. So we can see if he can last another half an hour. We'll see.
Yeah, that's the acid test, isn't it?
It always is. He's got a lot of experience, so he knows where to be on the field, and cheating's not the right word, but making sure he's putting himself in the right position to perform at as best as he can.
It's all part of the game then, isn't it? Making yourself conserve energy and not extend yourself more than you need to. Be in the right place at the right time, especially at this stage of the competition. Here come the Sharks again. Pressure is starting to build on the Suns here, but they've withstood it again. And quickly back on the attack with James Hurd leading the charge.
And that's a penalty for the Suns for a hard touch from one of the Sharks' middle, so they've got a new set. See what they can do here. They should be able to go full field now.
Lovely dummy in the middle there. A reminder, as we have got a tight game here, we are all square at the end of this one. We all have a drop-off, which is this sport's equivalent of extra time. We saw a couple of those at the recent European Championships in Nottingham. It is just about the most entertaining form of extra time that I can think of in any sport. And the Suns dive for the line. And touch called by the referee. Sharks will get it back. And we saw some amazing drop-off periods in the European Championships. If anything can match that Wales-Scotland mixed open final, it'll be, well, the atmosphere around this place will be incredible.
Yeah, it definitely will. I mean, that mixed open final was brilliant. I think the semi-finals were just as good, but that mixed open final was one of the best finals I've seen. And then it went to drop-off.
And then it went to 3v3.
Obviously I did the commentary in that one, and there's been quite a bit said by some of the things I said to the Wales women's winger, but she dropped it, and that's where it's tough. It's really tough in that situation, and it was so exhilarating, wasn't it, to watch? And I think playing it, I spoke to a lot of the players, and they enjoy playing in it as well, which is always the best thing.
They might have enjoyed it if they won it. I can't imagine they'd have enjoyed it too much if they're on the losing end.
Yeah,
and still on the pitch at the end.
I know, it's difficult. It's really difficult, isn't it? But it was good. Spectator drop off to the best, and we got one of the best drop-offs we've probably ever seen in European Championships.
Yeah, for those unfamiliar, it starts with 6v6. One team wins the toss, they get a chance to score. If they don't, the opposition gets a chance to score. If they score, they win it. And after that, if neither team scores, it is just sheer sudden death. And after every 90 seconds, I think it is,
2 minutes.
2 minutes, teams lose a player down to a maximum of 3 versus 3. And when you've got a 70 metre by 50 metre pitch, 3 versus 3 is, well, remarkable. And we saw it go down to 3v3, and one of the most dramatic endings that I can think of in a major final.
You say that, I went to the Junior Touch Championships last weekend in Stirling, and I watched the England versus Wales boys final. That went to drop off, and that was just as dramatic. So it just shows that the touch has developed one of the best endings to a sport when it's a draw. I've never seen a touch or a finish to a final or to a draw like I have in touch. It is one of the best.
Yeah, it's rare that when you get to the end of a match, whatever sport it may be in the final, that you think, I'll get in extra time. But that's exactly what it's like with touch, and I think we're just seeing another touchdown here from the Sharks. No, it's not going to get given. Touch called.
Been called forward, actually. So Suns have got a tap off, and
I did think it looked a little bit forward, but I tend to see a little bit of the benefit of the doubt given. Rightly or wrongly.
Yeah, the referee always looks at the hands there, don't they? So if the hands go backwards, they'll call it fine, but if the hands go forward, and obviously the ball goes forward, then that's where the penalty comes. But if the hands go backwards and the ball almost looks like it's gone forward, the referee will give the benefit of the doubt to the attacker.
And so the Suns, with 15 minutes played, 5 to go in this first half, have the lead. We've seen this so many times throughout today. As the games have got more important, the gaps between the two teams have really shrunk. Back come the Suns again. Deep ball out wide is on. It should be 3. It is. And they're looking very, very good here are the Southern Suns. It's a simple touchdown for Shane Wilson in the wing position on the outside. Doesn't get much simpler than this.
No, it's a really good play. So they send the sweeper around. The sweeper then gives the ball back to the dummy half. And because the sweeper's gone, he's created all the space for the winger, and they just put the ball through the hands, and it's a really good pass, so 3/2, and the winger dots it down quite comfortably.
South East Sharks then with work to do, 2 down with 4 minutes to play in the first half.
I like to see the favourites have to work hard in the final, so hopefully they're going to have to now. They're 2 down. Suns have got some very good players, so they're going to have to work really hard.
The Suns have, by and large, been very, very good. They've only lost 3 games. 2 of them were to the South East Sharks in the pool stages, the other to the West Wildcats 7-6. Other than that, they've been excellent, won every other game. They're bringing their A game into this final. They want to hold out, though, for as long as possible. If they can get to half-time with this scoreline, it'll be a real boost for them. Long way to go in the grand scheme of things just yet, though. Only 3.5 to go until half-time. Forward they come again. The tireless Paul Smuts at the heart of things once more. So Mr. Barnes in at half and gives it to James Hurd. Will start to move. And then here comes the injection of speed. Doesn't quite get around the touch there from the defender. That was good play from Jason Waddell to rein in James Hurd. That's a loose one now. Opportunity knocks for the Suns, and if they can go in 3 to the good.
Normally when you can see the turnover in your own line in the game of touch, you normally concede a score because that's the game of the game. It's very attacking sport, so we'll see what happens here. But it's a coach killer for the Sharks at this point.
Penalty has just been conceded. Yeah, another set of 6. They can take their time about things here. It's going to drag them out. Now we'll send them back. And over they go. Was there a touch? There was. It was an important one. Touchdown saver from Gareth McRae. start of things here is William Gillette. Now it's back with Christian Prinsloo.
That's the third set of 6 being given away by a knockdown by the middle, so the Suns have got to put some real pressure on here, so we'll see if they can score.
Oh, jinking through, that's brilliant. Touchdown's going to get given for that. That's superb from Christian Prinsloo.
Some dancing feet right there, wasn't there?
There really was. Absolutely brilliant, this.
So the same score as Paul Smuts, really. He takes it on the outside, he steps back, and like I said, dancing feet to walk through to score quite comfortably.
Oh, my apologies, actually. It was William Gillette who got the touchdown, not Prinsloo. And that is some superb agility. And with 1 minute left, well, the Suns wouldn't have even dreamed of a first half scoreline like this, surely.
No, not at all, and it's really interesting now. It'll be interesting to see what the Sharks have to come up with in the second half. They have to come up with something quite spectacular at the moment because they aren't the better team, and the Suns are playing really well. And they're having touches as well.
Christian Prinsloo putting it all on the line. They're leaving absolutely nothing in the tank here, and they're forcing errors, basic errors like that from very good players.
Yeah, uncharacteristic errors, really. These Sharks players have played European Championships for years and years, and they're making errors. But that's fatigue. 3 days of touch can do that to you. So we'll see what the Suns can do, and we'll see what the Sharks can come up with in the second half.
15 seconds there or thereabouts remaining in the first. It's been such a good half if you're a Suns supporter. Here comes Paul Smuts. Who to go, his final play of the half. There comes the touch, that'll do it. What a start for the Southern Suns, who have risen in this final. 4-1 they lead at the half-time break. It could scarcely be any more successful for a first half. Long 20 minutes left though, and the South East Sharks will seek to come back hard at the Southern Suns. Half-time, 4-1. Second half coming up next.
Oh, it's been fantastic, great learning experience. We started with the Southern Suns 4 years ago, came here, it was like a 3-day boot camp. We lost every game, but we learned so much. The players left inspired to play more touch, took it back to their local O2 touch clubs and ETA clubs, helped develop players at their own clubs. We came back the following year, won most of our games, came second, and then the next 2 years, including this year, we're now challenging the London teams who've been leading and unbeaten for the last 4 years. So really developing, coming on. Players are inspired, they're coming here getting educated and kind of empowered to play more touch, and at the same time sharing it back in their clubs, and we're seeing that the quality and the standards improving at all sort of the local regions. We were finding that they're coming to development training at a local level, and the prospect of maybe representing their country is really inspiring. So they come to training, learning from their pals and their peers, and coming to the training days, which is just fantastic. When you're a regional lead, that's what you want. Partly because I'm obviously master's age, I had a kind of a desire to be involved in that, and 3 years ago we played the first Masters up at one of the London stadiums, and I think there was 12 teams, and then last year it was much larger. We played up at Droitwich. They had a 35s, a 40s, a 45s men's. I think the same possibly for the ladies. More players, more teams there. The standard was improving. Suns actually took 3 teams to that. We were the only region to take a 35s, 40s and a 45s group to that. And the great thing about that was instead of actually just focusing on trying to win at the Nationals, we were more concerned about developing players. So we had a deep squad of players, and obviously taking 45 guys in 3 teams was better than just taking 15 in 1. So again, we really exposed people to the Nationals and the whole sort of 2-day experience, which was amazing for their growth.
If it gets shut down, just get a crisp soup on. We don't know that at all.
No, we still have 2 minutes till tip-off, 2 minutes till tip-off.
Here we go then. Oh, here we go again. Second half almost ready. South East Sharks have an awfully big job on their hands here to overturn a 4-1 deficit to the Southern Suns, who've been terrific. Stephen Jamieson, Ben Meakin with you on the commentary, and we touched on it a little bit towards the end of the first half. South East Sharks have to do something. What can they do to improve this scoreline?
I think they've just got to go back to what they've been doing all competition, really. Stick to their processes, stick to the moves that they've been doing that's been so successful to get them to this final. They've got the players, so just stick to the processes, and they'll come back. They will come back if they stick to the processes, so let's see if they can. But it's a final, so anything can happen.
And you were just running me through the Southern Suns team sheet as well at half-time, just off air, and they've got some good players in there, players that you know very well.
Yeah, there's two in particular. You've got Tom Humphreys, who played for England Open in 2012. That was my first competition, so he's got some good experience. But then also Paul Smuts has played for England's Opens for years. He's an old boy now, but he's very talented, and he's doing really well in this final.
You know, he played England Opens at the last Euros before Nottingham in 2016, when he would have been 34. So it just shows his standard was pretty high to still be keeping up with the likes of you lot when he's at 34.
Yeah, and like I said in the first half, he had to put in a lot of hard work off the field, in the training, in the gym, to make sure he was fit enough to keep up with young whippersnappers like I was back then. But I'm getting old now.
In that category anymore?
I'm getting old now as well. So yes, I'm doing that. I'm trying to do that hard work as well.
Here come the South East Sharks. A bit more impetus already in their play. They need to find something. It is a surprising half-time scoreline. They've never faced a 3-touchdown deficit this whole tournament. Here they come. Wide pass, and that's a start. That's what they need. And that's a perfect start for the South East Sharks. Very similar, actually, to a touchdown that the Suns scored.
Yeah, two experienced players. You've got Colin getting the ball back from Gareth, and he just takes on his middle, and then he just throws the ball over to the wing, who dots it down quite comfortably.
Yeah, nicely finished by Stuart Block. Out on the far side. A lovely pass, wasn't it, from Colin Scott. Got a lot of technical ability. Played for the men's 30s for England at the recent European Championships. And the Suns could be crucial. Well, just as I say that, make a pretty bad handling error with Alistair Barnes not able to bring it in, but could be crucial for the Suns that as the Sharks come more and more back into it, they're able to respond in scores, because 3 is a big deficit. If they can try and go toe for toe, even if they lose the second half by 1 or 2, they're still going to be the champions.
They're still going to win it. So yeah, it's going to be tough for the Suns. They just need to keep their defensive shape and make sure they're going full field, 70 metres each time they get the ball, because then that means the Sharks have to do the same. So I think it's going to be difficult for the Sharks, but I still think they've got the players that can do it. So we'll see. But then the Suns are on their attack. And there's a touch there, so it's fifth touch, fifth and last.
No way through for Ben Habgood. And what can they conjure up from this position? Here is Habgood. No way through there either. And that is the full 6. But like you said, full length of the field, it's par for the course, if nothing else.
Yeah, definitely. If you're in, we call it the grind, so making sure you go full field every single time, even if you don't score, that means the opposition have to do the same. And it's always difficult going full field to score, so no one really did it in the first half, so we'll see if the Sharks can do it now.
I'll certainly be hoping so. Here they come, lovely momentum. Need the pass. There it is. Does he get it down? I'm not sure. Yeah, touch called. He's been given an absolute hospital pass in the corner there.
If he gave him a good pass, he was in, but he got the ball down. He just got touched earlier, so.
Well, he's got to bring that
switch, the long ball.
He's a big guy, the winger there, Gareth Weaver. I think he's caught that fully extended above his head. He's got to bring that from about 8 foot in the air to on the deck without getting touched. That's so difficult to do.
The agility to get the ball down. It was something out of the NFL where they have to keep their feet in and get the ball in field. Oh, it's an intercept. What's happened here?
That's close.
The winger's gone for the intercept, but luckily Paul Smuts just got the touch as he's intercepted it.
No way through there for the Sharks. Bit of a heavy collision as well. Not something we see too often in touch, but both players feeling the effects of that one. Not what the sore joints and limbs need.
Especially when you're over 30, it's always worse, isn't it?
Every touch, referee.
We're just going to have a chat about this, what we want to do. It'll be a South East Sharks ball. See there the conductor of the attack, Colin Scott. Figuring out how best to approach this one. Got support to his right from Douglas Benzie with the ball in his hands now. This is where it starts. Fresh set of 6-5 metres out. Need to start making these count. They've done all competition. Scott's going to slow things down.
Yeah, the Sharks are just trying to get Dougie Benzie on the ball here, but they don't, and they go for a quickie, and it's 2 good touches.
Good defending. Crystal Wall looking to get through there. No way through. Need for a player with his agility. Now Scott.
Dougie Benzie on the sweep. Can he get the... Oh, he's got the ball. He's throwing it. Nice little touch.
Oh, that's very good. Oh, touch called though. That was close.
It was close. It was a really good little step back inside by Gareth. And he just got touched as he put the ball down. But I think the Sharks have got a penalty, so they've got another set of 6.
They're really putting pressure here on the Suns line. Surely going to tell at some point. That's very fast hands. The space is open there, and there goes Stuart Block. And you can have all the tactics and all the plays that you want, but sometimes there's no fairer substitute than rapid hands, and that's what gets the touchdown here.
And Gareth McRae, another ex-England men's open player, just sweeps out and sees the Paul Smuts shut in, gives the hands, and it's just a nice 3-on-2 completion to score.
That in many ways is just old school quick rugby. Whatever code, that's effective in any code, isn't it?
Any sort of overlap in any code should just be scored 3-on-2, 4-on-3, 2-on-1. Anything should just be scored, and that's what they've done there. It's impressive that they've still got the skills to do it and the knowledge and vision to do it as well.
Now, can the Suns respond? Yet to score in this second half. The Sharks have already got back 2 of the 3 touchdown deficit. Next one ties it. It really is going on then. Suns need to arrest the slide. They've got the option to do so, and I think they have. Yeah, given lovely touchdown just when they needed it. Tom Humphries it is with it, who just evades the touch here. Really good elusiveness.
Yeah, and they look to throw the ML, so the mid-link, but then they throw a fake mid-link, so the half picks up, throws to the dumper, and they just go through the hands, and Tom goes through the mid-link hole to score. It's quite a well-conducted score here.
Yeah, poor Gareth Weaver left a little bit exposed there, caught between 2 players. Couldn't quite bridge the gap. 5-3 now. The Suns leads. They've restored that 2 touchdown cushion. Could be important. 13 minutes remain. Here comes Scott. Oh, and that's another one. I think that's going to count. It is. And it's Christopher Wall who finds his way through the Suns' defence.
And this is another really good play. So Colin just hits an ML line. He stops, he steps, he looks at what he can do. He throws the ball really, really nicely into that link hole, and Christopher just goes straight through.
Beautifully done. And the Sharks are just starting to hit a little bit of momentum, you sense.
Yeah, they've definitely played a lot better this second half than they did in the first. They might have got a bit of a telling off at half time by their coach. So we'll see. Oh, and the winger's got the intercept, but he's got a touch.
That's absolutely fine. That's absolutely fine.
Short block with another interception. A couple of those.
It's good body position by the winger. Every time the Suns get the ball, he's getting back on side, he's stepping up into the passing channel, as we call it, and he's looking to either intercept the ball or making the passer throw over his head, which makes the pass harder.
Back come the Sharks again. And they're going to have to cede possession there. Just one score away again. Always got the sense this final would be close.
I think we might see a drop off. I'm going to throw it out there early, but I think at the way it's going, it's becoming like that.
It's a very early shout.
It is, but I like to see them, so it'd be good for all the viewers out there to see another drop off.
You trying to talk one in, are you?
I am. Let's go, players.
Here comes Colin Scott for the South East Sharks. Wall has support. Scott's here again. No way through. Good defence. There's Nina, but working with Scott once again. Pace from Scott Weaver. Does he bring that in nearly? So the Suns have a fresh set of 6 on their own 5 metres. Important they get out of this quickly. That's the 4th touch. This is why it's so difficult to go the full 6 from your 5 metres. There's 5. Last touch here. And that's just really good evidence of how hard it is to score from your own 5 metre line.
It is. It's one of the most difficult things to do because you've got to go full 70 metres in 6 touches, where the defence is stepping up. They only have to retreat 5 metres each time, so it means you have to try and move the ball around and drive the team backwards. But as we're seeing here, no one's actually gone full field and scored yet, so it's a really, really difficult thing to do.
Here comes Peter Lee at pace. And off the scoop. Now he's through. Touch, I think, might have been made there. It would have been an important one as well. It was Luke Hudson defensively. Sharks will come again.
Got a 2-1. Guys, we haven't got a lot of time, fellas.
Oh, nicely played, reverses it. No way through, good read. Gillette there. Important defensive stop and trying to use the wing again. No way through. That's some good, solid defence from the Suns. But they start all the way in their back corner, nowhere near their own sub box either. That's important, and that's a bad error.
Oh, that's a coach killer, that is, where the Sharks are sometimes getting on top. The Suns, all they need to do is drive it out, and they've given another set of 6. So I'd expect the Sharks to give a good go trying to get another score to level the scores here.
They're going to take their time about things. Scott. Fired out to the wing here. Does Weaver get that? If he does, that's amazing hands.
Wow.
Yeah, touchdowns given. What a take this is. This is superb.
Yeah, this is a wonderful try. We haven't seen the replay, but as we see the replay of that finish, what a finish that is by the winger. He picks it up off his toes and he puts it on the line, and that is one of the best finishes you'll see all weekend. That will definitely be on the highlights for tonight.
Absolutely fantastic. I'm going to try and have another look at that as well. It was that good. That's a true connoisseur's finish. That anyone who's ever played the game is looking at that and really, really in admiration.
Yeah, definitely. the way he's picked the ball up off his toes there, not many people can do that. And then he's finished it as well. So yeah, fair play to him there.
Here come the Suns. We are level. And I think that's another interception from Stuart Block.
Is that 3 or 4 this game?
It's
He's
been
got
incredible.
a fair few more.
Absolute magnet for the ball in defence here.
But then the Sharks have let the ball, put the ball down as well. So the Suns have got a new set. So it's all about the errors at the moment. Whoever's given the errors conceding.
Let's have another look at this finish. This is so good.
Off his toes, and he dots it down. How he gets down there at his age, hopefully I'll be doing that in about 2.5 years' time.
That's an absolutely spellbinding finish. Now then, speaking of great finishes, it's a really good go at it there from Paul Smuts. Don't think he managed it. I think he was touched on the way through. It was close. The Sharks building a little bit of pressure here. They haven't really seen too much of this in the last 10 minutes or so. That's a good looking ball. Nearly. It's actually really good wherewithal from the winger to pop that back inside. Just deflected into the path. Back come the Sharks then. We are approaching crunch time. 5.5 minutes to go. 5 each on the scoreline. Here comes the number 5 for the South East Sharks. That pace goes Eric Williams and now Peter Lee. Williams in at half. Good read from James Hurd. Pops out to make the stop. Williams looking for the wing. Oh, and it was nearly picked off.
But he's dropped it, so that means there's another set of 6 for the South East Sharks. They get lucky there. The winger should have caught that one, and that would have been just a turnover. But now the South East Sharks have got another chance to score. It's another mistake, so I think the way it's going, Sharks should score here.
Trying that pass again, but this time there's no way through for Gareth Weaver. Even his brilliant handling ability won't get that one.
No, I don't think so. Coach will be a bit disappointed there because that was first or second touch, and the South East Sharks have thrown that ball away. They just need to keep the ball in hand there, and they would have had a few more opportunities. And he's in the ditch.
Yeah, let's get the proper ball boys in here. No need to get the players involved. They've done more than enough work this weekend.
The Sharks have got a penalty, so they've got another set of 6. See if they can keep the ball in hand and get another score.
Colin Scott anchoring the play. That's a good touch.
Yeah, good defence by the link, comes up and makes the touch before Marcus can get the ball away.
Nineveh and Colin Scott again combining in the middle. At half, here comes the big man Gareth McRae. Nineveh hot stepping. Bit of a heavy touch, but play continues. Out to the wing it goes, and that's a simple one for Stuart Block. And for the first time in the match, the South East Sharks hit the front, and they've chosen the optimum time to do it. We have not got long left. Brilliant pass from Stuart Block. I think for the second time in the game, has himself the simplest of finishes.
Yeah, it's a sweeper play, but then Colin doesn't get the ball. Gareth picks up the ball and creates a 3-on-2 overlap. The wing is free, and he just walks in for an easy score.
Now then, this is where we see what the Southern Suns are made of. 2.5 minutes to go. They need a touchdown to stay in the final. Here they come. Chance here for the Suns. Can they get over? Oh, nearly. Very nearly. Back come the Sharks. A little bit of clock management in play here. It's the 2-minute warning, as it were. Here comes Colin Scott, who's been a bit of an architect in the middle there for the Sharks.
Yeah, he's played really well this game. He's done everything right. He's got the team down the field, and then in attack he's throwing some really good balls to set up some scores, and yeah, he's been good all over the field today.
90 seconds. It has been close, but the Sharks, I think, might just sneak this one. Peter Lee, is the ball out wide. Oh, and it was nearly picked off, but that could be a game winner. If James Hudson could have caught it, they had a fresh set of 6 and had one more attack at the line, but now it's the Sharks who have the fresh set of 6.
Yeah, now it's just game management. There's a minute to go. Sharks are up by 1. If they can complete this set, they should get the game here.
Be even better to have a touchdown. They might well get one. Stuart Block dives for it. Touch was made. Doesn't matter too much. It's more seconds eaten up. Just a few more seconds. Just double check with the referee the decision. The gamesmanship creeping in, but it's their right. Colin Scott, brilliant, and the final touchdown is made. That will seal it. 7-5 lead the South East Sharks. They've been made to do it the hard way, but that now surely has seen them home.
Yeah, they've been pushed all the way, but Colin Scott has played very well. He quick is here. He goes on the outside, some really good footwork. Look, stops, steps back inside, and dots down in between the space. And he's played very well this game. And as the hooter goes, the Sharks win by 2.
That's it. Yeah, hooter goes. It's all over. And the winners of the men's 30s competition are the South East Sharks from a really, really impressive comeback in the second half. They were 4-1 down at half time, but they've won it in the end by 7 points to 5. A really impressive second half from the Sharks. And well, I think we can just about see him there, but I think I have a feeling who you're going to nominate for your MVP of the match.
Yeah, especially that second half. Colin Scott played very, very well. He got his game, he got his team back into it by setting up a few scores, and then he sealed it on just before the hooter with the score. So yeah, the MVP for that game would be Colin Scott.
Yeah, he was superb. Let's take a look back at what made this final, how it ended up. It was so close, but the Suns were by far and away the better team. A real traditional cliched game of 2 halves.
Yeah, definitely. The Suns played very well in that first half. I actually thought they might win it at half time, but they must have got some, the Sharks must have got some talking to at half time, because they came out of the blocks. They scored some very good scores, and on the back of Colin Scott, they got the win quite comfortably in the end, should we say.
Matthew Harper scoring the game's first touchdown. It really set the tone for the Suns. The Sharks then got one back to equalise, and then there was 3 more unanswered. This is the first Sharks touchdown. Once again, Colin Scott at the heart of it. And a nice finish there for Stuart Block. We saw him do that a couple of times in this game. Always an outlet.
We are nearly at the end. What a great weekend it has been.
And from the Suns' perspective, 3 unanswered touchdowns in the first half. And this is your fella here, rolling back the years in some respects, as you said, Paul Smuts. What a finish this is.
Yeah, it is. It's a good finish. He gets on the outside, and the streamlined hair gets him in front of the link, and he scores. You won't like me saying that, but I think I know him well enough to say it.
You hope so.
Oh well, let's hope so. I'll buy him a beer.
This was the simplest score of the entire match, really. A beautifully worked move which saw Shane Wilson in so much space, granted the freedom of Cambridgeshire for a moment there as he touched down for 3-1. And the Suns, terrific in the first half. That made it 4. And a lovely touch from William Gillett. to make things 4-1. And we mentioned at half-time, what could the Sharks do to bring themselves back into it? What did they do to get themselves back into it?
Oh, like we said at half-time, they just needed to do what they have been doing all tournament. That's following their process of sticking to the moves, and eventually it did come off. They stuck to their process in the first half, and the Suns defended very well. But the Suns got tired, the Sharks stuck to their process and their moves, and they came out on top.
Colin Scott again, influential from the middle.
Yeah, it looks like he was involved in pretty much every Sharks score, and that's why they've got that win in the end.
And this fellow was involved in a fair few as well. Really good performance from Stuart Block on the wing, who was so clinical at finishing.
And that's a wing. Some people say the wingers is the easiest job, but actually it's the hardest, because we saw him in defence. He was getting in the passing lane, getting a lot of intercepts, and then scoring some really good scores, putting himself in the best position possible. And yeah, there's some really good all-round play.
I think Wingers Union coming into play there a little bit.
Oh yes, definitely. You've got to. I think it's one of the hardest jobs. I played there for a few years myself until I moved into the mid-link, and it's so hard. You're always in no man's land. You've got to either choose go to your wing for defence or hit the link, and he's made the right decision most of the time.
There was one fantastic pass from Colin Scott, and that brought the Sharks level, and from then on 2 more scores got them over the line. It was a superb performance from the South East Sharks, who will be crowned the men's 30 national champions. How about this from the final say, really? Try the match without a doubt.
What a way to end this game. Yeah, definitely. What a score.
It was Gareth Weaver with an amazing bit of hands to finish this one, a try that we'll never tire of watching. And then right towards the end, it was time still for another Stuart Block finish. Kept on doing it, kept being that out ball, and kept touching down. This was touchdown number 4 for Stuart Block, who really had a great personal game. And with the final throws in play, it was Colin Scott once again at the heart of everything good that the South East Sharks did, and he himself got on the score sheet to finalise what was a great personal game for him. Awarded the MVP from Ben, and the man himself, the number 10, is with Chris now. Terrific performance.
You are the MVP for the men's 30s final. Congratulations on that.
Thank you very much.
It was the toughest game, the last one?
By far our toughest game we've had. It was 4-1 at half-time. Our first game against the Suns on the first day, it was, I think it finished 11-1 or 11-2. That's the first time at half-time we've been down all tournament. Yeah, I'm pretty proud of the guys for coming back, actually.
Were you aware of their round 10 pool match, which they they put in a fantastic performance in that against the Taipans to secure the place in the final? Were you aware of that, and then how did you combat it?
We've tended to sort of look after ourselves and what we've been doing. We've been down a few players. Our Taipans boys, it's been really nice to have 2 Southeast seniors teams, which we've never done before. There's been a little bit of talk in between the squads, but generally we've kept ourselves to ourselves and tried to look after ourselves.
And you scored the game that didn't necessarily win it, but it sealed it, the touchdown right at the end there, so must be very satisfied as well.
Yeah, I think it was a battle of the creaking knees. I think my creaking knee lasted a little bit longer than his creaking knee, and he overchased a little bit, and I managed just to beat him on the switch and put the ball down.
Talk about creaking knees, just for the older gentlemen who might be watching this today. How do you rest and recover between during a multi-day tournament like this?
Foam roller, the best $7.99 I ever spent, and I lucky enough to go out with a wonderful sports dietitian who keeps me as trim as I possibly can.
Well, Colin, thank you very much for your time. Congratulations again on being named the MVP, and we'll go and sort your trophy and medals out in just a second.
Thank you very much.